Hey there, welcome back to our channel. I'm Amber from browenvy and browenvy Academy, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a voiceover of a full lip blush touch-up. So I'm going to share all of our tips and tricks and information about products and how our lip blush technique works. So if that sounds great to you, make sure you watch this whole video. So one of our browenvy artists is doing this work, Mary, on one of our other team members, Anna. And as you can see, she's already had lip blush done and it's fully healed. And in this video, we're going to be sharing her touch-up. So right now, Mary is applying numbing. We like to use a topical for 30 minutes to numb the skin first before we begin. Now this is a touch-up, so her beautiful healed results are from using Permablend French Fancy and Blushed mixed together. But for her touch-up, Anna wanted to get something that was a little bit more warm, like a peachy tone. So we're going to be switching up the color here. And then the design process looks a little different than a first-time appointment because all we were doing was really adding size a little bit and kind of refining her Cupid's bow. So that's what we're doing right here with the pencil. So after we remove the numbing, we go ahead and apply the outline, make sure the client's happy with it, and then we move forward with our first pass. So I'm going to start the video with this outline pass. So we always start our procedure by outlining the shape, which the bottom we didn't do any amendments to shape here, but we did change the top. So you're going to see that Mary is really focusing in on the top. This angle is great to show you guys how light and airy her touch is. So this is very much just a finger movement. I see a lot of people who are new to lip blush using their wrist and their hand and arm, and it's very, very heavy. But look here at the needle. You can see it's barely tapping the lip, which is so important to make sure that you don't cause too much trauma. If you cause a lot of trauma, you're going to see a lot of swelling. It becomes really hard to insert ink into the skin, and then your client's going to have really scabby results, and their healing is going to be tough, which means you're going to end up with less retention. Okay guys, so with the outline, slow and steady really wins the race here. Like you should be moving so slow like a turtle. You almost feel silly you're going so slow. Otherwise, you run the risk of not implanting enough pixels and you could lose your outline. So when you come back and you wipe all of this off, not only is your pencil outline that you designed gone, but then your ink didn't stay. So that can be really frustrating because you feel like you don't have a shape anymore. The answer to that is simple. Stay super light and really slow and patient. So let's have a talk about body position. You can see that the top lip has been completely outlined and it's nice and clean. On your first pass, you're going to want to be really careful not to just smear your outline everywhere because it will make a mess for you to see what you're doing as you finish that first pass. So make sure that you're kind of creating a tint over your client's mouth. That's important for the outline, but it's also important for proper technique. You can see that by creating this little tent and this opening between her fingers and the needle, Mary's able to properly stretch the skin, but also stay really light and airy when depositing the ink into the skin. When you do this properly, your client should be comfortable. It isn't that it feels amazing and they won't be completely numb, but it should just feel more like a minor sting, nothing too terribly painful. If you properly numbed for 30 minutes and you're nice and airy like this, your client shouldn't be feeling like severe pain. Here's a look at what the outline looks like when it's done. So this is that first pass. Now we like to go in and do an initial first pass. As you can see, Anna is totally comfortable enough to be laughing and joking as we begin her first shading pass. One of the keys to a successful lip blush appointment is to be really, really disciplined in how you apply shading. So remember the needle that you use, if you're using like a single needle like us, it's tiny, and that lip shading movement is airy on purpose because we want it to look like skin is showing through. You want it to feel like a lip balm, not like a heavy lipstick. So as you're applying those tiny little dots, remember, if they're not layered on top of each other, you're not going to get a lot of color payoff. So really slow, tight movements, making sure that you're disciplined, you're not leaving spaces between your pixels. Otherwise, you're going to feel like each pass takes so long and you have to do so many passes to get enough color to show up. So really, really disciplined, making sure you're covering the full area section by section. Now you guys have seen the first pass. This is what it looks like after the outline and the first pass of shading. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove that pigment and let's apply some more numbing. So I like to use a secondary numbing. Ultra Duration is a great one. Just keep in mind that as you apply secondary numbing, especially if it has epinephrine in it, which is great for bleeding, it is going to make the lips look lighter than they really are. So you don't wanna over apply that or keep applying it throughout your session. So thus far, only one initial pass has been done. The second pass is a lot more slow in terms of shading the inside of the lips because the client is a bit more numb and you have your outline. So you can place your hands a lot closer together. You don't have to worry about smearing your outline. And you're gonna wanna make sure that you keep a nice firm stretch. You don't wanna overly stretch the skin. That can cause unnecessary swelling. Just firm, not overly tight, but the skin should be still. You shouldn't see the lip wiggling in the area that you're working as you go. So here you can see that there has been a second pass on the top lip, and you can see that definition is much stronger, and they made some tweaks to the Cupid's bow shape. Now we're gonna apply a little more numbing and do the next pass on the bottom lip. So we do like to apply numbing to one lip at a time as needed throughout the appointment, just because as soon as you wipe off numbing, the lip begins to unnumb. So if your client is beginning to feel pain, that will help. Do keep in mind that over-applying numbing can cause more swelling. So it's this fine line that you have to find to balance client comfort, where they have some mild discomfort but not pain, and making sure that you don't apply so much numbing that you find it difficult to implant pigment. Now let's talk about this color. This is bright, right? This is Permablend Orange Crush. And as I mentioned in the beginning video, Anna previously had French Fancy and blushed, which made like a really pretty pink color. I think it healed great, but she wanted something more like a peach, a true warm, soft orange. So we're using Orange Crush here, but you'll notice it's really bright. It's best for someone who really is comfortable with a very orange lip. Especially if they have like a pink base, a simple neutral pink, you can use it. It's also great for neutralization of dark lips if you have experience with that, but use it carefully because it is very bright. And if someone doesn't truly want a really warm orange healed result, they will not like this. Okay guys, as I always say, remember these videos are informational and meant to help experienced artists with their techniques. But if you want training, please make sure you take a class. This is not something you can learn from YouTube. We would love to help you. browenvyohio.com or send us an email, browenvysensitraining@gmail.com. And I will see you guys in our next video.